What does it mean to be Mexican? By Maria Daves. To talk about who I am and where do I come from, um, I had to go back to the history of Mexico that is truly the basis of what we are and our identity is as a Mexican. So I will start talking about the Spanish conquest in 1519. As this conquest marked our origin and integration as a nation with very special characteristics, and is as a result not just of the colonialization process, but as a result of miscegenation. This is the crash of two cultures, Spanish and indigenous people from Mesoamerica mainly, and is how mestizos were born. When the first mestizo, this is a person that shared the Spanish and indigenous blood, was born, is when is the beginning of our nationality, Mexico. Yes, my answer to who I am is I am mestizo, a Mexican mestizo. And that means that my legacy comes from the fusion of European and indigenous cultures. And my cultural background comes from mainly Spanish and indigenous groups, but it's also a mix of African, Jewish, Arabic, and other minority of European groups. So being mestizo means being all these cultures together. And lately in Mexico, 62% of the population is considered to be Mexican mestizo. Another important element of being Mexican is our language, Spanish. Spanish is spoken by the 92.7% of the Mexican population, and the rest of the 6% speaks indigenous languages like Mayan, Nahuatl, and others. So, as part of our identity, we speak Spanish. Another important element is our religion, the Catholicism, and its celebrations. 82% of the Mexican people identify themselves as Catholics. And this religion has have strong roots in our identity as Mexican society. It's because it's the big influence of our main celebrations. Like, for example, um, Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is a celebration on November the 2nd, and it's mainly to bring a tribute or honor all people that is dead. People prepare an altar at home with food, flowers, drinks, candles to welcome them back from the other world. The other important celebration that we have is Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's this, December 12th. Is when many people gather together and walk to the main church of this um, Lady Guadalupe to pray and say thanks for everything we got during the year. Then on the second half of December, we have Las Posadas, that is description of Virgin Mary and Joseph previously to Jesus Christ was born. So it's also linked to Catholicism. And we also have it in each different towns with like very particular traditions that include piñatas, drinks, and food that also get people together. And finally, we have on September 16, the Independence Day that we celebrate is our independence. And even if this doesn't have a lot of like link to religion, we will get back to the 1800s when the movement was developed, and the main leader or the hero of this movement was Miguel Hidalgo, the priest Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. So who took the standard of the Our Lady of Guadalupe as the representation of the movement, and it says that this is how the movement goes stronger, and this is how we succeed in our independence. Another very important element as part of our identity is family. Family is one of the most important elements of Mexican society. And usually we have large family and we share different traditions together. And one of the most important is to gather together and have dinner or share meals together. We value our old ones and we always take care of them. Um, it's always a kind of excuse to get together and just celebrate special events with all the family. So we kind of like keep contact with each other. We usually have extended families like uncles, aunts, cousins, grandpas, and all of us together. We always like to share special situations, special moments, and we try to keep all together. This is also that we have and is reflected as a solidarity with other people. For example, last year Mexico suffered a very strong earthquake in Mexico City, and people gathered together and support those who were in need, and as volunteers offering services, donating food, money, clothes, and supporting each other. And this is also part of who we are as Mexican. And finally, we are talking about friendly people and delicious cuisine. Like just to mention some, we have all kind of varieties of chiles, and we also base our meals in corn. We create tortillas, tamales, and corn chips. We had a variety of fruits and vegetables, and mainly avocados, and to prepare guacamole. And there's also this drink that is very typical for posadas. This is called the fruit punch. And also for the Independence Day that we celebrate in September, we have the chile en nogada. It's mainly originated from Puebla. And this is just when people gather and say Viva Mexico. We have different kind of traditional drinks, but one of the most famous is tequila. And this is also part of our identity as Mexican. But I hope you learn a little more of what does mean